Sam Merrill averaged 1.8 threes a game. He made 5 before halftime of Game 7. That is the gap. Across 13 prior playoff games, Cleveland's bench shooter was a 1.8 makes-a-game contributor. Hours before tip in Detroit, analysts on television were arguing Cleveland should bench him. He took 6 threes in the first half. He made 5 of them. He finished the night 5 of 8 from 3, 23 points, 7 of 10 from the field, 25 minutes off the bench. The number 1 seed in the East cracked. Cleveland closed the series 4-3. Here is how a 1.8 makes-a-game shooter broke the East's number 2 defense in 25 minutes. Let's start with Detroit's defense. Detroit ranked second in defensive rating across the regular season. That is not a wrinkle. That is the East's foundational defense. They built that ranking across 82 games on one principle: help to the ball, recover late to the corner. Here is how it works. On a Mitchell drive, Donovan Mitchell brings the ball off a screen. The corner defender on the strong side slides 1 step toward the rim to wall off the drive. The help side wing rotates over to the corner late. The bet is that Mitchell gives the ball up. The shot the offense gets is a closeout 3 with a hand running at it. That bet held across most of the regular season. That bet held across 6 games of this series. Detroit watched the film. Detroit ran the math. The math was about who Cleveland left in the corner. For 13 prior playoff games, the corner Detroit was rotating to belong to Sam Merrill, 1.8 threes a game, 8.1 points a game. The math of let him shoot it, closeout late assumed a percentage Detroit was comfortable living with. The film said this shooter does not punish the rotation reliably enough to change the math, so Detroit kept rotating the same way through 6 games. The scheme was not new, the scheme was the foundation. Here is the chalkboard going into Game 7. The closeout angle is calibrated for 1 shot per action. The corner shooter is a 1.8 a game shooter. The math works when the same shooter is 1 of 4 a game. The math collapses when the same shooter is 5 of 6 in 12 minutes. 1.8 threes a game, 5 before halftime. That is not Merrill heating up. That is the mechanism that cracked Detroit's number 2 defense. Cleveland did not invent a new play. Cleveland asked Detroit to make the same rotation choice 12 times. Here is the actual mechanism, Cleveland's stagger sequence. Donovan Mitchell brings the ball over half. Jarrett Allen sets a flat screen at the top of the key, then immediately sprints into a second screen down on the wing. 2 screens, 2 layers, 1 continuous motion. Detroit's principle has an answer to 1 stagger. The help side wing rotates to the strong side corner. The weak side corner defender slides 1 step in. That answer is good against 1 shot per action. Cleveland ran the stagger, or a flare variant, pointed at the same corner 12 times in Merrill's 25 minutes. 12 times, Detroit's help side wing left the corner to load on Mitchell's drive. 12 times, Mitchell drew the help. 12 times, the late closeout arrived a half step short. Merrill took 8 three-point attempts. He made 5. 5 of his first 6 fell. This is not a coverage break. This is what happens when a scheme designed against 1 shot per action is asked to defend 12 shots from the same action. Here is the sub-mechanism the chalkboard cannot ignore. Allen's second screen is not flat. It is a curl screen back toward the corner. So even when Detroit's wing recognized the stagger and tried to cheat under the first screen, Merrill's curl path put him at the corner 3.5 seconds before any rotation could complete. Detroit's read was right. The geometry of the second screen made the right read late. Cleveland did not need a new wrinkle. Cleveland needed a shooter who could exploit 1 rotation choice 12 times. Now the steel man. The steel man lives in the closeout angle. Detroit's closeout angles in the series were not lazy. The closeout angle Detroit drilled all season is calibrated to a normal corner 3 rhythm: catch, gather, set, shoot. By the time the wing's outside foot lands, the shooter is still gathering. That is how you contest the shot you knew the offense would take. Sam Merrill's release is faster than that. His catch is a hands already up catch. By the time Detroit's wing recovers from the corner help, Merrill has already gathered. By the time the wing's outside foot lands, the ball is in the air. And the steel man keeps going. Merrill was at 1.8 threes across 13 playoff games. Game 7 is 1 game. Bench shooters get hot for 25 minutes once a series. Detroit's scheme will hold against the population. Next time these teams meet, Merrill is back to 1.8. That is the honest, opposing view. Let's take it seriously. The rebuttal lives in the volume. The Stagger ran 12 times. Merrill saw 8 clean three-point attempts. He took 6 of them in rhythm. He made 5 of those first 6. The variance defense survives a 3 of 9 line. It survives a 4 of 12 line. It does not survive 5 of first 6 against a designed action repeated 12 times against the same rotation choice. The principle was the problem. The shooter was the proof. And the question that opens into the verdict: Detroit had 2 days of film between Game 6 and Game 7. They had seen Cleveland's stagger menu 6 times already. Why was the rotation principle still the principle? So here is the verdict the data is forcing. A second-ranked defensive rotation principle is 1 shot per repetition. A stagger menu is 12 shots per repetition. If one shooter can punish the same rotation choice 12 times, the highest-rated regular season defense in the East does not survive Game 7. The Steelman one more time. Merrill went 5 of 8. That happens. Sample of 1 game. Detroit's scheme worked across 6 prior games. The variance defense is the right defense. Most nights this shooter goes 1 of 5 and Detroit wins by 10. Game 7 is the outlier, not the verdict. The Steelman assumes the rotation choice was correct given the inputs Detroit had at Game 7. It was correct given the inputs from Game 1 through Game 6, but Detroit also had 2 days of preparation between Game 6 and Game 7. They had seen Cleveland's stagger menu 6 times. They could have changed the rotation principle, ice the wing stagger, top lock Merrill above the break, switch on the second screen, send the weak side defender on the catch instead of the corner. They chose to stick with help and recover. That is not variance. That is a scheme commitment that did not survive being asked to defend 12 repetitions of the same action when one shooter could punish a single rotation choice every single repetition. Cleveland did not have to add a new wrinkle. They had to find a player who could be exactly where the chalkboard said the corner would open and shoot the same shot 12 times without flinching. Sam Merrill, the bench shooter analyst, spent Saturday afternoon arguing should be on the bench, was where the chalkboard said. He shot it 12 times. 5 of his first 6 fell. 5 of his first half threes fell. By the time Detroit could redraw the rotation principle on the dry erase board at halftime, Cleveland had built the lead that closed the number 1 seed. Now the 3-zone chalkboard reveal, 3 layers of the same mechanism. Zone 1, Detroit's rotation principle, help to the ball, recover late to the corner, calibrated for 1 shot per action, built across an 82-game regular season into the second-ranked defensive rating in the league. Zone 2, Cleveland's stagger menu, 12 repetitions of the same action in 25 minutes, 8 clean 3-point looks for the bench shooter Detroit was rotating to. Zone 3, Merrill's catch-and-shoot trigger, a release fast enough that late closeout became no closeout. 5 of his first 6 fell before Detroit could re-engineer the principle. 3 layers, 1 mechanism. The second-ranked defense in the league cannot survive being asked the same question 12 times when one shooter on the floor knows the answer cold. Cleveland closed Detroit 4-3. New York is waiting in the Eastern Conference Finals. New York's switch-everything defense does not give up corner threes. It gives up mid-range pull-ups. The bench shooter who closed Detroit may not see the same menu against the Knicks. The next series will test whether Cleveland's chalkboard has more than one verse, or whether one rotation flaw is the only flaw they know how to find. The Knicks will not give Cleveland 12 repetitions of anything. Until then,